Okay, everyone. Hopefully, you can see my charts here, and then we're just going to walk through a couple trading opportunities. We kind of looked at the market on Sunday, or actually, it was Friday. Excuse me. I don't even know what day it is. So today, what is today? Oh, it's Monday. Okay, it's Monday the 2nd, June, and almost my birthday here in 2 more weeks here. So that's pretty exciting stuff. But let's just look at the market. Right now, we're looking at the euro dollar daily chart, and we found support around 1.3585. And you can see I'm already in 2 positions, and in reality, you can have your stop loss right here. Okay, and I believe that this thing is gonna start to trade upwards. Now, this is kind of a swing trading perspective of the market. Obviously, you want to know what your stop loss is when you place a trade, and also your take profits. So what I'm looking to do with this trade here, it's going to be like a whole week before it to reveal itself, because this is like a swing trade. I'm looking at support right here as resistance in the future. So at 1.3695 area is when I'm looking to actually take profits. Now, this trade I'm not actually 2 to 1, so I'm actually kind of this is just not a good trade itself. I got in way too late, and um, I really actually pushed the trade through. So, but that's the thing you got to learn is make sure you're confident and you know why you're in. But overall, I did expect this to push upwards. It did for this trade right here. This one it's negative. So right now we're sitting right at this price here at 1.3601. So if you're more of a scalper, then this is a great opportunity to buy this pair up. What I'm looking at is it to pull up and pull back down, maybe even a retest of the break of this low right here. Okay, and overall work its way up. I mean, you can see that it's bottomed out here and it's creating a double bottom here, guys. So if this candlestick ends up white, this is for tomorrow's broadcast, then obviously I'm looking to buy this pair up. I'm already in, so I don't want to overtrade. I'm just going to be patient and let these things work themselves out. Here on the 4 hour perspective, like I said, this is just awesome. I mean, if this candlestick ends up white, you can have a pretty tight stop loss to take profit. You have a pin bar right here, and just an engulfing candlestick of the small red candlestick right here. So probably within like 11 minutes, that's kind of when you can pull the trigger. Or on a smaller time frame, there's probably a small trend line you can use Magic Stick on to enter the trade. But like I said, I'm expecting this market to start to trade upwards. I'm swing trading this, and I'll just kind of show you my point of view of this market. Like I said, there's a steep trend line like this. That's probably the ugliest trend line that you could ever draw. There's this trend line, which it hasn't breached yet, and this trend line like this, which is broken. And so it's broken this trend line. That's probably why I actually got in, to tell you the truth. So it broke, enter the trade. I did use Magic Stick, but like I said, I'm swing trading this thing. So if you swing trade, just trade with a smaller amount, and you just got to be more patient, really. It's for more people that actually like work 80 hours a week and not able to take the opportunity. But look at this retest, guys. I mean, this is something we talked about in one of the presentations. Is we were looking at support. We talked about it coming up, creating a W formation here. So there's several reasons to get in, as the long position is the close of this candle, indication that this is bottomed out, and maybe for a few days it may just go sideways and then break upwards. Okay, I don't know. You can look at maybe Forex Factory and look at some of the fundamentals of this currency pair, the euro, to gain strength. Or if you use Bloomberg, then obviously that's going to give you more of a fundamental perspective of the market. And again, looking for this to trade upwards overall. So a couple of things is there's a break of a trend line, the retest as an entry point, or the close of this candle. But like I said, I'm already in, and I'm just waiting. So I can see that these are not the best entries at all. But I'm leaving my stop loss right there, and I'm looking to take profits clear up here, guys. I mean, I'm looking to hug this thing for quite some time. I think the euro is going to launch itself for several reasons. I mean, it's pushed down quite a bit. And let's actually kick back up to the day chart. This is obviously support and resistance, but we have this W formation here that we're looking to create. But look at what it did over here on the left hand side. So I'm kind of expecting this market to have somewhat of similar behavior. Is a big strong up, and I think I read something on the euro in a fundamental perspective that the euro is looking to gain value on this pair. So if you can imagine, I'm looking for that kind of move, and look how far it moved from this point to this point, 460 pips. So let's look at this. So if you got in right now, then you can have a relatively small stop loss of like 25 pips to go for possibly 250 pips is the point of view I have. So like I said, right here, this is where it struggled, and I think that's kind of the perspective. I think the market's going to come up, ding off this price, push back down, break through, retest, and those are some longer term perspectives of the market to enter the trade and plan it out. 4-hour standpoint, like I said, it's broken one trend line, it's retesting, so I feel pretty confident of this pair going upwards. But like I said, just plan your trade, know what your risk level is for your account. And I actually need to say this is that read the disclaimer that these are for educational purposes only. If you decide to take these trades, it's at your own risk. Okay, I gotta say that all the time. But you know what I mean. It's basically your account if you're trading live, and we're looking at this as a live standpoint. If you can look at the chart at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, June 2nd, 2014. So you'll see that this is a real chart. All right. 1-hour standpoint. Now, man, I wish you were there at Friday. When the market closed, I did talk about some of these perspectives of the retest, and I really hope you entered there. I mean, you could have, like I said, we talked about stop losses behind here. We dinged off it once, we're dinging off it twice, and whoa, there goes the chart. I'm looking for this market to start to trade upwards. So a couple ways you can look at this market. Sorry, I was looking at the other monitor. Is for this to break upwards. So a couple things. We've created these candlesticks like this. Okay, so sideways, sideways, sideways. We started kicking upwards for the Asian session, and so we're sitting right at the break. So you could take it on this candle right now, and like I said, your stop loss could be right there to be relatively as far as a good entry to ratio. So like I said, I'm looking for this thing to just keep on climbing upwards. So we have a low, a high, slightly, actually the even low, but it's a double bottom situation, guys. So a couple other reasons to get in for the breakout is the break of this high at 1.3645, and then you can look for the retest possibly. Or like this is more of a shallow trend line. You could take that one as the buy start or buy break. Remember, it's buy break, not buy start. Sorry. So if you put in the wrong command, it won't do anything for you. So this thing's going to kind of drift sideways, and like I said, I might look for the break of this trend line. So I'm already in. Sorry. But if you want to get in, then there's those reasons. I'm swing trading this, so you might have a better price than I have. Entering the market there, stop loss right around this general area behind the swing point. So if it does break this trend line, we have a reference point, a break of this trend line, or even this support resistance level. So you have 1 or 2 or 3 reasons to enter the market for a long position. But right now, like I said, is the double bottom situation, and I feel pretty good about it. So I'm only down a few pips with this trade itself, and like I said, I'm swing trading it. So it's one of those things that's like when you swing trade versus day trade, you can day trade this part, like trading downwards, and make some money that way. But like I said, I was completely busy this week, so I wanted to swing trade and looking forward to this thing to carry on upwards. The Swiss franc. There was a trading opportunity that I just got out of this. It wasn't working out the way I wanted to, so I went ahead and closed out the position. So this trade didn't work out the way I wanted to, but looking at the market now, so what I'm expecting is the euro and the Swiss franc to kind of mimic itself. So what I'm looking for is, what is this candlestick going to do? Is it going to end up red? Because if it is, then I'm interested to possibly sell this off. A couple ways to look at it as well is it is looking like a head and shoulder pattern or even a double top situation. It's broken this resistance and it hasn't retested, so this is an overall uptrend at the moment. Okay, we had a downtrend, but we had a massive trendline break like this, and I hope you took this trade because it was beautiful. Okay, 120 pips. So this market is just thinking. So we're currently trading around the 0.8984 area. This market is going to probably filter downwards a little bit. Like I said, I'm looking for it to mimic the euro dollar in some way. So look, if you look at this, I mean, it is somewhat of a reversal pattern. I want to see if that candlestick ends up red here within a few minutes from now, or even see 10 o'clock, so 2 hours from now. So you could actually put a sell start command on a smaller time frame to take that if it does close lower than the doji candlestick that you see right there. All right. A couple things I like about it. I mean, this has been a strong push upwards, so we have this trend line to kind of refer to. It's body, ding, body, like the tail right here. See how it dinged off of it and kind of just, I think we can fit it in a little bit tighter like that. Look how beautiful that trend line is. So a couple ways to look at it is it could still go up. I mean, this thing could possibly bounce off this trend line, but like I said, I'm expecting this to mimic in a mirror image way with the euro dollar. Okay, meaning that the dollar is going to be dominant in this direction and value of the currency. So let's look at the 4-hour chart looks pretty nice with that trend line. That's one reason, but I think the best price you'll get here soon, which I will probably place a trade here shortly after, is looking to short this pair and have my stop loss around this area, this pin bar, and looking to short this down to right around here as my target at 0.89429 area. Okay, so I'm not going to be right on the dot. You just know that because I don't control the market. Okay, dinged off. So we haven't created a high and a lower high yet, so we do have some things to refer to. Possibly a reversal candlestick pattern would be nice. You don't really have a trend line. I mean, this is too sharp. Oh, that is ugly. So what I'm expecting is a sideways market and then a direction. So you see how this thing kind of went sideways. You can see it kind of market sideways and then got choppy. That's exactly what I'm expecting here in this general facility. Okay. So really to short this pair, like I said, the 4-hour chart looks kind of nice with this candlestick pattern. That is one reason to get in. Just make sure you have good money management and keep your stop loss and take profit ratio good enough that it's worth to take that trade. So this in a 4-hour standpoint looks really good. On the 1-hour it doesn't look as good, but that would be the reason is the close of this candle is greater less than this close, the doji. So you can see that these were small closes and then dropped off a little bit, pulled back, and then dropped. So same thing, red candlestick, maybe a little small white candlestick, just like this, sideways, sideways, drop, up, drop. And so I'm looking for reasons to drop it off, short it. So mainly the Swiss franc looks pretty good there. I'm going to wait though. I'm going to be patient enough to look for this red candlestick to close. If not, you know what you could do? You could wait and go like this as the sell break command. So I'm looking for it to break this smaller close area, and then you can feel good at having your stop loss about there. So I mean, like, good risk to reward, right? Even towards the trend line could be your ultimate goal as your TP, as in take profit, is what I mean. Let's actually clean this chart up, and it's doing exactly what I just said. Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy? So looking at this pair, let's actually look at it on the day chart. What we've done is we have somewhat of a conflict of interest because this is gearing the pound, and typically the pound does follow the euro, but it looks like it's actually slipping a little bit, or it's actually going too close to each other. They're trading really close to each other, meaning that it's going in a consolidation phase. So we have a high and a lower high. Okay, so I'm interested to ding off this price possibly, okay, and possibly push downwards. But in an overall perspective, and this kind of cuts through this candlestick right there. I mean, you could draw like this, and then one like this to refer to the body. So, which one should we trust, right? Which trend line should we trust? It's broken the trend line, so an overall downtrend started to form here. But we created this bottom. Look at the support and resistance level, guys. And we talked about that. We talked about this dinging off and doing all sorts of stuff. And hopefully you took this trade. Boom. It didn't go all the way up, but you had plenty of time to protect your position and make some money off of it. So right now, we're in a phase where I think the pound is not, in reality, I'd be a little bit more conservative in trading this pair, just where it's at. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it may just consolidate. It's kind of a descending triangle. We're sitting at support, and it's just not trading. It's not a firm direction, is what I'm trying to say. So if you were to day trade this, you might have made some money right there on a short time frame. But in a swing trading perspective, I am expecting this to go up with the euro. Okay, but this is something I'm going to be curious about as far as maybe taking some profits off the table, or if this does swing up, like we are creating a low and a higher low, and this might be the higher low in correlation with this bigger trend line. Okay, meaning that this candlestick, we talked about that, and I hope you got in because you'd still be up. And now we have somewhat a smaller W formation, not a full-on double bottom, but looking for this thing to climb up a little bit. So kind of hugging this trend line as my stop loss. 4-hour perspective, it is just like there's upward pressure candlesticks, but it is just sideways, guys. So this one, like I said, if you did place a trade based on this white candlestick and wait for it to close, obviously you can use Magic to help you do that, and have these as your stop loss, these little tells right here. Or you don't have to get in right now. You can wait for some confirmation as far as direction is concerned. Like I said, a couple ways you could approach this market is, look at that trend line. It's looking good. Or you can have it on this point and this point as your more of a tighter entry. Or look at this. We have a neckline. And what is a neckline? It's just resistance. So we have a support, resistance, tells. So this thing could still bottom out, which I would actually prefer. I mean, if you were to wait, I mean, that's the thing. You know, the question is, are you willing to wait? So if price does drive down to right here at 1.6706, then we would have a double bottom, and we'll also have a better entry point as far as risk to reward, and looking for this market to possibly trade upwards. Okay, but if you don't want to miss out on the breakout, this is the resistance level that we can identify, right around 1.6765.9. Overall stop loss levels are right around here if you were to swing trade it, so you can considerably have a smaller stop loss, or right here. But like I said, if this thing drops down, I'm not worried. I already have my my trading plan, but I'm looking for the break of this high, and that could be the reason that you want to get in. Okay, and I think I got in late, of course, but I did have this opportunity, and I hope you took it too. So we're just waiting on this thing. I mean, it is just this is a boring pair, guys. 1 hour standpoint, boring. I mean, sideways, choppy, choppy, choppy. So, like I said, if you want to be more aggressive in your entry, this could be your resistance level as the buy break command. And like I said, you can keep your stop loss at the previous lows that we can identify. And it may break upwards, and then you can look for the retest, depending on where you're at in the world. Okay? Alright, let's look at the yen, USD yen. If you guys have pairs that you want me to look at, let me know. And oh my gosh, it already hit my take profit. So, I hope you took this trade because we did talk about this thing going up, going up, going up, going up. Yeah, so I hope you took it. If you didn't, then you didn't watch what I was talking about, or you weren't listening. That's fine. Let's see here. So we have obvious levels here, and I can point them out to you, but let's look at price action right now. And we're sitting at 102.36 area. USDN, I talked about a lot of trade opportunities, and I mean, if you were day trading this thing, I mean, money there, 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 and now it's going up. We have this, we had these double tails, look at that. Long tail saying I'm going up, and I went up. And we talked about about this right here, and then still going up overall. I mean, it's not the best entry if you got in right now. I would expect a little bit of a pullback of the day chart of the USD yen. Let's actually look at the 4-hour standpoint. Yeah, so I mean, there is a short-term sell opportunity, but it is a little risky. You may see a similar move like this, chop down like this. So, I mean, if you're aggressive, and this is more looking at in this standpoint, because we can go to the left-hand side where we do have resistance right here on the left-hand side at 102.46. But this trend is up, guys. So it is a counter trend trade in a 4-hour standpoint. So we have a trend line like this that you can refer to. And we'll just refer to this because we don't need to worry about this bottom here. So what I'm looking for is a possible entry of a sell opportunity towards this trend line, or even this bottom here. I mean, that would be the ultimate goal. So it's pumped up quite a bit, so it has kind of this wave pattern. So this could be your entry, your stop loss could be there. And again, this is counter trend trading. So, but another thing you can consider is we are trading somewhat of in a range with the USDN. I mean, it's not a flat out trend. I mean, in a 4-hour standpoint, we are in a trend, but like I said, this thing may just go sideways a little bit. And this is not a pair that I'm like way interested in because we already had a great trade with it. So if this is a trade that you like, what you could consider is possibly this kind of behavioral pattern. Is it may push down and then it's going to probably come back up. So in reality, you might want to wait for a little bit, see how this closes, and then when you see it close, then you can put a sell break under the close that it closed at, so a little bit lower, and see if it commits like this. See how it went like this and then went down and then it went up, so you might have got scared and then you missed out on this move right here. So I'm expecting somewhat of a similar reaction. Is there's going to be kind of a fakie and then sideways and then drop or up. I mean, it's going to pick a direction here probably within the week or so, but we're in this phase. We're in a consolidation phase. Let's actually look at the 1 hour. 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, it is somewhat of a double top. There's a little hanging man there. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like you're just pushing a trade in. So, like I said, I would wait. I mean, the hour did close 10 minutes ago, and maybe this will be a sell break, but I'd keep my stop loss right around there. I do expect it to not just go straight down like this. I'm kind of expecting more like a choppy move and possibly moving down. Um, and this might be something you want to kind of use, move your stop loss to break even when you're able to, when you have so many pips in the green. Because like I said, this is resistance. It broke out. It kind of retest, but this could be the barrier mark. Either here, it may have a hard time breaking back down because of the strong move. So this is a retracement trade. I guess we could use Fibonacci, which I need to change the color here. Sorry about that. Let's get this Fibonacci stuff. Oh, I need to change it to... Alright, so the retracement, yeah, it's probably going to struggle in the 50 and 61 zone because that is the trend line per se. And right around this area, we did have some support resistance in this general facility, like right around here. It's not this, this is more of a wick on a different time frame, so right around this area would be my target, which is roughly at the 50 mark. So this could be a sell opportunity, guys. Stop loss right around there, take profit, pretty good risk reward, and looking to trade this downwards possibly. Okay. Now you guys love these trades because look at that. Did I not call that? Wow, that was intense. I mean, you could have been more aggressive. Got in there. Sell break, guys. Boom. I mean, you took it there. We talked about stop losses right there, and then yeah, it did what we talked about. Oh, wow. Okay. I hope you saw that and I called it, and I hope you took a part of it. But anyways, what we're looking for is the trend line break. This is your retest, and I'm looking for a consolidation. I mean, this thing is probably going to go sideways and probably be boring. It may be better to day trade this on a smaller time frame, 15-minute chart or 5-minute chart, and scalp it a little bit. But I'm looking for a range between these two levels here, right around 0.9274 area, the 0.9209 area. But a couple things I really like about this market is we have a high and a lower high and a lower high. So we're kind of switching trends, and we didn't breach this trend line on the top. So we talked about stop losses above there before. And this being the retest in this general area. But look at this market on how it behaved over here as well as here, and I mean a big push down. So what may happen is a kickoff right there, bounce around this area, and then it may commit. I mean, it may commit this break of this trend line to trade upwards and continue this bigger trend, or we may see a break and a retest and start to trade downwards down to this area here at 0.8685 on a more swing trading level, because this is the day chart. Okay. The 4-hour standpoint, either way, guys, we talked about on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. I hope you took that break. You're up, and you might have, protect your position, or you're just out, and you didn't want to wait to the bottom here. So right now, like I said, look at this range. I mean, this is where I believe this market is gonna struggle, at these two levels on the 4 hour. So what you can look for is the turnaround is possibly a bounce off of 0.92136 area. I'm not gonna be on the dot, guys. I'm sorry. But you may see some engulfing candles or a white candle. One of those are going to help you be interested in this market to trade back up to 0.9268. So those are a great sell opportunity. Hopefully you took that. I mean, we talked about selling it up here actually, and yeah, so we saw a breakdown, pull back up, retest, boom, and we dropped. And I'm looking for this to struggle right here, because that is a pretty good distance from here to here to here. So I want to see what it does and thinks about right around here. The 1 hour standpoint is we're kind of going sideways, as you can tell. So we're going to kind of meander down and maybe even not even get down there all the way. So a couple ways you could look at this is a buy opportunity for several reasons. This is more way late entry. This one would be more of an aggressive entry for the break of this more shallow trend line here. If I can even draw a trend line. I can't draw a trend line. Okay. But we're looking for price to break downwards. Okay, so it is going to meander down, possibly. I'm not going to control this thing. But I'm going to be interested when I see an engulfing candlestick pattern or upward pressure candle or a break of this trend line or something to that effect, or a break or retest. Break or retest could be a good reason to get in, and possibly look to target right around 0.9268. Okay. Oh my gosh. Did we not call this? Look, it's still there. Buy break. Well, if you didn't take that, and look at that. That was your entry. We talked about our stop loss right around here. Or even down here. I can't remember. I was kind of half awake, and that's where it went. So, I already took some profits off this trade, and there's your witness right there. Buy break. Okay? We also talked about breaking this high, which is kind of, I mean, you'd be up maybe 12 points. And, yeah. But we did talk about this pattern right here. Okay? We talked about it just breaking up, creating a low, a higher low, and this was the original entry point, was the break of this smaller area here, and then we have a retest of it. Okay? We had the break up. That was entry, entry, entry. I mean, you could have carried this thing up. But let's look at the overall perspective now. Okay, so we talked about this being the bottom. Man, that's funny. Now, because of the big candle, we may just consolidate here. Like I said, it's probably going to react similar to the Aussie dollar, but in a mirror image. So you could look at this as the swing trade perspective. This overall did break this bigger trend line. So it doesn't mean this market has to reverse. We talked about the double bottom. We talked about this neckline. We talked about this being an overall perspective of the market possibly reaching up to that price. So we may be in a longer term buy position. And if you look at this, I mean, there's that low and the higher low, possible higher low, excuse me. But I mean, we're looking at a possible, I mean, if you got in right here and if you're still in, I mean, you can hold on to it. We're looking for a possible 349-ish take profit if you want to hold it that long. But I was kind of day trading it, danger trading it, and doing okay with it. But what I may look for is a possible pullback and a retest out of the breakout. So it broke out, but we may retest and see a ding off of 1.0872 and a stop loss right around there, and then possibly breaking upwards. Or you can look for the break of this high here at 1.0920, and then we can see a possible move up. But that means that we may, I mean, we don't really have a reference of a stop loss when we break this high yet. So if we get an upward pressure candlestick, then that's going to be something I would be interested to put my stop loss behind. The 4-hour perspective looks awesome. So this, again, some of you may say, well, broke out. Wouldn't you sell it? It is it's broken a big trend line, guys, and it is a little bit risky because we're starting to push upwards pretty strong with these bullish candlesticks. We did have this hanging man here, but I mean, if we did take a short, it'd be very difficult. I mean, it may go sideways, sideways, sideways. You may want to look for a close beyond this price right around there if you're interested. Okay, so looking for the break and downwards, but I think it's going to hold this price right here at 1.087227. So either a ding off of it or a reversal candlestick pattern to overall trade upwards. So these bottoms are about the same, so that's why you call it a double bottom. our neckline area, this is kind of the wicking area of the day chart, so right around here is a strong area of resistance. So a pullback right around this general area, or if it kicks off this trend line that it broke, then I think we would have a trade opportunity with a lot less risk with a lot bigger reward. So it depends on your patient level, really. The 1 hour standpoint, this market is, I mean, look at it. It's doing absolutely nothing. And let's see here. So it's broken. Like I said, I mean, we broken. We're either retesting in this general. I'm gonna put a zone here. Okay, I'll even put a box in for you guys so you feel good about it. It's gonna be blue, right around there. Okay, I think in this general area is it may pull back, it may not, but if it does, that'd be great. Right around there. Let's do it like that so it looks really clean. Yeah, so right around this zone, I'm looking for a reversal candlestick pattern or retest, and if it engulfs, like if you saw it right here and it's a red candlestick, I would put my buy break right around there and then let it break upwards and close. And you can refer your stop loss maybe behind this candlestick right here, or this wick, or behind this trend line as your stop loss level area. I mean, if you want to be really conservative, it's down there behind this wick. Okay? These are pairs that you're probably really interested in because look at that trend line. We talked about it on the 1 hour standpoint, and man, you are happy. I mean, I'm still in this thing, and I'm still happy. Okay? Oh my gosh, I just did exactly what we talked about. All right, so the euros definitely gained strength this past few days. So I mean, we talked about getting in right there, this candlestick right there, and getting in there, stop loss there, as you can tell. But I'm letting this thing ride a little bit before I move my stop loss to break even, just because it's the day chart. I mean, this thing moves a lot. But so entry here. This is where we talked about. So you'd be up at 65 pips with this trade alone. KK. Let's see here. So my perspective about this market is broken a trend line on the way, downwards. I can't even talk right now. But we talked about the euro in conflict of going up, and euro has definitely dominated with both of these pairs. So the euro obviously has an influence of where this market went. Okay, just like I told you about what I read. And just breaking upwards, and the way this thing's moving, it may pull back a little bit, but for those that day trade or scalp, you might want to be careful with this pair because this thing may not go down. I mean, this thing, you may think that's going to reverse, but yeah, this thing's going up. So what I would actually do is it's broken this. I mean, I'm going to leave that there because I want to just show you on the smaller time frame. But this trend line like this is obviously broken upwards. We are creating this little head and shoulder pattern. So it may kind of consolidate right here. We may see a test. So for those that are trading this, you may want to look for buys instead of sells. I mean, it could sell off a little bit, but it may slingshot. So meaning that if you're in too long, this thing is going to go against you and hit your stop loss. Well, it may not. I mean, to be honest with you, it could be anything. But anyways, we talked about this being on a smaller time frame as my reference for the buy break. So getting in right around here on the 1 hour, the retest, just beautiful. So there was that candlestick, and I mean, you should be buying this thing. So you're saying, well, where do you want to re-enter? Well, again, this might hold its price right around this area at 139.02. I mean, this thing is pretty aggressive on the upswing, but we can probably see a little bit of consolidation throughout this week. So this one's actually going to be a little tougher to trade on a day or scalping perspective. Like I said, this thing is climbing. Look at that 1 hour. So we actually talked about this trend line actually. Let me redraw that. I mean, the way I drew this trend line, I think it was a 4 hour, but I mean, this was the candlestick or it was this candlestick. But look how beautiful that is. A couple of reasons you wanted to get in on this trade. We were doing a double bottom. We talked about this pulling downwards. We said that this was a neckline, and so you could have got in right here. The break of this close right here as your entry and your stop loss there. Look how tight that is to this. I mean, isn't that good risk reward? Trendline break, break of this high was another reason. We created a low and a higher low. We talked about an engulfing pattern, so hopefully that was your stop loss to take profit. And it's slowing down a little bit, so you can see that this market right now is doing this. So if you're in, yeah, I mean, what I may consider is just pulling some profits, because like I said, overall I expect this thing to overall go up long term on the daily standpoint. So we have resistance over here on the right hand side with a 139.308. So you're thinking, well, is this going to sell off? Well, maybe. I mean, it's going to be pretty tough. The only way I would actually sell this off is it breaks a smaller area of support, and we may see a little bit of reversal. But like I said, if you're in too long, this might actually go like this. Let's swing back up. So what I may consider is just probably close out this position, or you can, the way I would re-enter it as a buy opportunity would probably be maybe even this trend line to be kicking off of, possibly. Okay, so we're looking for a possible bounce trade or retest. So what I'm saying as retest, it may really struggle to break this price. Okay, right around here. It kind of retested there, but I'm looking for like a full-on like engulfing pattern, so it may range. So like I said, you can take profits now. I mean, if you got in where I got in, it would be up 40 points, which is okay. But yeah, this thing may just go sideways because it is the Asian market that's open, and London. If you want to be in on that, like I said, London might push the direction either down or up. So this could be a great buy break opportunity for you guys, and using the trend line as your reference of where you want to put your stop loss. So if you want to put your stop loss down there, look for the break this high, then that could be your reason to get in again. All right, so it is your decision. Oh my gosh, look at that trend line. Day chart. All right, guys. Oh wow, look at that thing. Oh my gosh, did I not call that? So right here on the bottom, we talked about a buy opportunity and this candlestick pattern, and oh my gosh, you would be up 135 pips, and you could have closed out. But we did talk about somewhat of a downward swing here. We have a high and a lower high, and it may just sit there. But the way this thing's moving, I mean, the yen's actually move really strong. So this trend line, even though it broke, doesn't mean that this market has tumbled down this way. What I'm looking for is a possible top here, and it may just go sideways. Like this trend line here just might not mean anything at all, really. Let me just get rid of it because it's in the way. But what I'm talking about is right here is it's sitting at there, right around there. So we are still creating a low and a higher low per se. I can't even talk right now. But yeah, this thing is been pretty good. But we have a really solid resistance level right there. So the way this thing's moving, I'm looking at two things. I'm looking at this thing to struggle right here at 172.78 and even wick above that. So we're looking at the bodies scenario, but I'm going to consider the wick. So what I'm looking for is a false break like this on a smaller time frame, and then pulling back downward. So what that would look like is there's a smaller trend line here, and look for the break. So for really good risk reward, you could put a pending order, maybe 50% of this wick here, and having your stop loss above there, or even consider this wick right here, because that's a pretty good point. Yeah, but you might not get filled. you might not get filled. But like I said, we may look for a reversal candlestick pattern right around this general facility. This might not be the retest, but it may be up here. But look how strong that resistance level is. 4-hour standpoint, we talked about this trend line to do everything for you on the 1 hour or the 4-hour. I mean, whatever one you took. I mean, we talked stop loss right there. Take profit. So right now it's kind of in the overbought scenario. So this one, it is the pound yen, so it's a little tricky. But if this candlestick does end up red, we may sell off. And because it's gone down really quickly, come up really quickly, and we may just kind of drift, but not all the way down here. We may struggle right around this general facility, which is at 170.83. So sell there possibly if it ends red. Yeah, pretty good risk reward. 3 to 4, 4 to 1 ish area, and this is kind of the wick on a smaller or bigger time frame. 1 hour standpoint, oh my gosh, look at that thing. I mean, some of you probably drew like that, like how you're supposed to. Anyways, the point is, I mean, we talked about stop loss. Look at that thing. We talked about this pattern. Do you remember that? I hope you do. But this is where you would have entered if you had the buy break command. If price was below it, broke, that was your entry. Stop loss there, and man, I mean, if your take profits there, I would just close out the trade and just be happy about it, which this one already hit my target. So I hope you're happy, and yeah, hope you took this trade because it was awesome. I mean, this thing is really not doing anything. Like I said, this thing's just doing this. So you could consider this to be something that may make its decision as far as direction goes based on the sessions. So right now is the Asian session. It doesn't look like the yens are really picking up. Not that much volume, trade volume per se, but this could be a good sell break command, keeping your stop loss where the resistance level that I have or slightly above that. Just make sure you have good risk reward, and we may come back right around this general facility, but this thing could continue going upwards. Okay, so one thing to consider is, I don't know when you're going to wake up tomorrow or where you're at, but this selling this off too much might be a little risky. Maybe considering your take profit right around there could be better, because this thing could respect this trend line right here. So what I'm saying is it could break down, come down here, and then what you could look for around this area is this kind of pattern. Okay, it doesn't have to. I mean, this thing could just drop all the way down to here at support, but I mean, this thing looks kind of solid. You know, you have body, body, wick, possible body, and it's a pretty far distance from here to here. So you could use this as your TP and your stop loss up here. May look for the close beyond this price. As you can see what it did over here on the left hand side, it broke. And I mean, yeah, it's a big candle, but look at that thing. I mean, it's the pound yen. This thing moves a lot. This pair, the Euro pound, the one that you wanted and you wanted me to talk about, and you probably are up on this trade. But anyways, on this trade there was the break, as you can see, the trend line. This is on the 1 hour. We'll look on the day chart. We talked about a possible tipping off because the euro and the pounds were trading pretty closely here. So there's this pattern here, and there was your close, and that was your stop loss, and you probably took some profits. Who knows where you're at if you took this trade or not. But let's look at it on a day chart perspective. Because of the strong trend that we had on the day chart is down. So this thing's kind of ugly. Let's just review it, how ugly this thing is. Okay. This could be the W. This could be your neckline here. Bam. At 0.8134 area. What you may look for as far as a good trade opportunity is the double bottom situation. So this thing you could sell off, you could be in it right now. This is a slower mover, and it's kind of a choppy type of market, as you can see, up and down, boom, boom, boom. But when it trends pretty good. I mean, break that trend line. I mean, we talked about that. Hopefully, you took that. But we talked about this one kind of having the euro being dominant in the situation. But now, as you can see with the euro and the pound, it is having a little bit of a tug of war, per se. But if possibilities of this market is it's closed beyond this close. So what I might be interested in is the double bottom. Okay, so a touch of this price. Now, I don't really have that much room for reference as far as stop loss. I could use this little wick, but it may wick downwards. So I might want to be a little bit more patient instead of just putting a buy limit order there. I might let this thing just drift off downwards and then look for the break upwards. 4-hour standpoint, what could be more interesting would be this trend line like so. Like I said, this thing's drifting offwards, but we are creating a low and a higher high, a high and a higher high, and this may kind of go like this. Okay, it may not commit. It may not break this trend line and commit upwards. It may not slingshot per se. We only have this on the left hand side as reference, so I like to see what happens around this general facility as a buy opportunity, maybe an engulfing pattern, a long wick. So like I said, if you put your stop loss there, this could be a long tail and just knock you out. Okay, so I'm kind of considering just to wait for this thing to possibly show itself a little bit better. 1-hour standpoint, yeah, we broke these lows, but look at this thing. I mean, tug of war from the euro and the pound. They're trading really closely, and I would only be interested in the bottom price as well as the top price right here. So if you want to be more precise on the breakout, it could be right here at 0.8138 as the buy break opportunity. But like I said, just take this on your own risk. I mean, this thing is, man, it is just doing whatever it wants to. I mean, this thing is just sideways. Look how sideways. I mean, that's the most sideways market you could ever imagine. So this could be a really boring market this week, guys. I mean, if it commits downwards, you could sell it off the break of this low right here. But it is an overall downtrend, so that might be a great opportunity to look for the break of this low. But I'm actually more interested as far as possibilities, and it just makes more sense. The double bottom of the 4-hour and the day chart. Okay, that just makes more sense to me because this does look like a W. I don't know, is that a W for you? Okay, and possibly the break of this trend line upwards. So that's kind of the market projections I have for this week. Kind of giving you the ideas of how these trades have gone. You're probably just doing awesome. But let's actually look at one more market before we go. Let's get some insights from the crowd as what you want me to look at. All right, the Euro Aussie, huh? Yeah, that would be the exotic. Okay, and let's look at this thing. So day chart, what does that say? Well, it says that we're overall downtrend, but look at this pattern. Oh my gosh. We didn't cover this, but if you did take it, that'd be awesome. I mean, you had the hanging man, the stop loss there, and I mean, you just had a good risk reward. I mean, you may be up 100 and something pips. So we do have a W, and we do have a neckline here. Okay, so that might be your overall target. Getting in, you might wait for a little bit of a pullback before we get in. But on a smaller time frame, I would believe again the euro being dominant this week in trading upwards with whatever pair it's working with. This is a strong trend line, which You know, what can considerably say that this trend line may be valid, it may bounce off of it a little bit. What it may look like is it may look like it's going to go down, but overall go up because the way this thing's moving, just kind of the pattern and the rhythm it's going at, I'm looking for this thing just to continue going upwards. I mean, even surpassing this right here at 1.5732 area. So right now, I mean, if you would really want a swing trade, this would be a swing trade, like where you got in right here. But if you want to hold this thing and just put a really small lot size in, you're willing to risk maybe 170 points to gain possibly 1,000 pips. Yeah, 1,000. That's a possible. I mean, this thing could reverse right here. So you want to plan it out. I mean, let me just plan it out a little bit better for you. Because this is support, it hasn't acted as resistance yet. And it may break up and break in, retest, and then go up kind of thing. Maybe chop up a little bit like this, and then you get your run. But I think this is going to just overall, like, probably, this is, I mean, we're talking about a 4-month projection here. This is a thing that you just, like, hold on for, like, almost the rest of your life kind of trade. 4-hour standpoint, yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, this market is just, well, right now it's going sideways, so there's nothing excited about that. But the exciting part is we can obviously that see that there was this pattern right here. There's a breakout, and it hasn't retested that. So what I could look for is a possible short-term sell opportunity. Which, I mean, if you want to scalp it, you could and make some money on the downward side. But in a longer perspective, a longer point of view, is we are looking at a low and a possible higher low, and this may retest at 1.4671. And then trading upwards. Now, do we have a trend line? Kind of. I mean, that one's kind of okay. Let's see here. I mean, that one is pretty good. It's broken the trend line. It's hugging, and yeah, so this would be more of another reason to get in is the break of this trend line. So this thing, like I said, it may just consolidate for 4 or 5 days, but that's the thing, the beauty about this software is we can wait for the break, let it break, and commit. And I'm looking for this thing to just go up for quite some time. This is just a longer perspective of it. But as far as risk reward and better opportunity is an area right here that I'd be interested as the buy opportunity to trade upwards. Okay, so if we decide to turn around right now, here's hearsay, blah. Then what I would look for short term is a buy start or buy break. You don't want to start it, you want to break it. That would be the buy break command right there. But you don't really have a reference of a stop loss. I mean, your stop loss level would be behind this support level because this obviously could break and then drop down there, which wouldn't be very nice. But like I said, this thing could drip down to here. If this does, I mean, if you want to take a sell here, have your stop loss right here, because it could drift down this way, around there as your overall target for a short-term sell. 20-point stop loss, 40-point take profit. You know, it's okay. There might be this smaller trend line. And for those that want to scalp it, let's talk about scalping, I guess. Let's look at this thing. So it's kind of, yeah, it's broken this trend line. See? It's broken, it's retested. So what you could look for is to short it and keeping your stop loss above this trend line. I mean, this is a pretty good 20 pips, 20, 30 pips stop loss to possibly, let's see here, we'll be a little bit conservative there. I mean, this thing can hug up here, so you might look for a retest right here as the limit order. You might miss it, you might get filled, you may not get filled, but like I said, you can keep your stop loss pretty tight in comparison of a possible 90 pip trade, because this thing does move, and you want to consider the spread too. To make sure that you're not over trading or too big of a lot size. But look at this thing. I like it. Has body, kind of a retest, so that kind of faked you out, and you could have lost on the small trade opportunity. But this thing is kind of well, it is sideways. So this one could be the selling trade right now. You could sell off now, and because I'm already in some trades, yeah, I'm gonna wait for those ones to pan out for me. Okay, but this may just trade downwards for a little bit, maybe a day or two. But my expectations, though, in the overall like long-term perspective, this thing is probably gonna climb. But like I said, short-term, probably like a day or two or three. It could be three. It could be 3 or 4 days that it consolidates a little bit, dings around these prices, and then drops commits. So if it drops down, then the buying opportunity becomes favorable, and we may look for this market to start trading upwards. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's the week's projections. I hope you took those yen trades. I mean, you would be happy, or you are happy, and I just haven't talked to you yet. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, that's the market projections. Thank you for joining this webinar, and we will talk to you later. All right. Take care.